Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another great episode of Bahrain Now, your source of local initiatives, happenings, talents, and trends. I'm your host, Khalid Hijris, here to walk you through our exciting lineup of segments and personalities from around Bahrain. So don't go away, we'll be right back. The childhood's passion of drawing, painting, enterprising, and experimenting. New aspects of art encouraged by Chala Akpinar to become a multidisciplinary artist with firm belief that art is historically formed through the lenses of different cultural approaches and is a strong psychological lifelong experience for people who are dedicated to doing art. To talk more about it, we have the artist herself. Thank you so much for joining us.
First, thank you for inviting.
So can you tell us a little bit about how all of this started? What was your inspiration?
Well, actually, it comes since my childhood. My mom told me that when I was 2 years old, she saw me that I was doodling the walls with crayons, and she didn't want to interrupt me, thinking that maybe she will become an artist in future, which it happened. So I am interested in arts very, very long time. I grew up with arts. I don't really remember if I have a free weekends. I was going to school at weekends. I was always doing something related with art courses, music, dance, theater. I had a chance to experience so many different branches. So when I noticed that I am literally following it as a big passion, I decided to study in college. And I think the studying art in college is one of my milestones, I can tell that. And then it becomes my biggest inspiration through the life experiences. The more that I get experiences in the field of art, it becomes my inspiration, I can tell.
And I mean, it's really paid off. I mean, I am mind blown by these pieces. And I mean, before, what other materials do you use other than the wall and the crayons?
Yeah. Well, I had a chance to experience so many different branches of art, like sculpting, ceramic, mosaic, digital art, even performance art, but I feel always more confident and happy when I'm expressing myself with painting and drawing. So basically, I can tell that brushes, drawing pencils, color pencils, acrylic paint, watercolor, and ink is my materials that I'm constantly immersed with. I do have experiences with spray paint and oil paint, but I don't have that much experience because I like to control the material, and acrylic, color pencils, and watercolor, it's more easy for me to manage it.
Amazing. And I mean, because of all of these experiments that you've done, I'm sure you've kind of come up with your own little process for your art. So what is a day in the life like for you when you're working on a piece? What's your process like?
Well, I'm constantly thinking. I'm an overthinking person also, so anything can inspire me. I'm an observer. I like to observe a lot, whatever happens around me, when I meet new people, when I go to places, when I travel, everything constantly gives me ideas. And I have the first visual drawing and painting in my mind. I create it. When I go to bed, I cannot sleep, not because of I'm thinking something else. I'm thinking about all the inspirations that comes to my mind, and I'm creating the visualization, and then when I get the chance, I start sketching. First I do my sketch, and then when I feel confident, I said, okay, I want to carry this onto my canvas, or if I want to keep it on the paper, I start just revising it, cleaning it, and coloring it. So dependingly, I can say that maybe my style includes semi-realism, surrealism, pop art with striking colors, shapes, and I do like to use sometimes symbolism also.
I mean, it's really interesting to me to see how artists integrate all of that stuff, like you're saying, symbolism and color, to create such masterpieces. And I mean, I'm sure your education as well really helped you out. Can we talk a little bit about your experience at art school?
Well, when I was lucky to study one of the top-ranked university in Turkey. I was very hardworking. I got accepted with a full scholarship. Like, I was so devoted for my passion. And then I had really good opportunities while I was studying, because you're surrounded with creative people all the time and people who do that professionally. And I did my art internship with different artists in Spain, in Germany, and I gained so many different ideas from them. And then when I bring everything all together, I said, like, yes, what's next for me, what I want to build in future, because now I am the kids of today's generation. I was the kids of today's generation. So while I was a student, I was building my career and I was thinking about it. And I had a short period of experience for being a teaching assistant in university. Then I said, yes, everything is building me, and I realized, like, people around me supporting me, helping me and inspiring me. So it motivated me to become one of them. I said, like, I wanna be like them. Yes, I'm an artist, but I wanna inspire and I wanna give whatever I have to them. So while I was learning in school, while I was studying, also I started to teach art in one art academy that I was a student when I was a kid. So I was doing everything at the same time to balance myself and to see what I want in future.
Well, I mean, from all of that alone, I can certainly say you succeeded in inspiring me, so thank you for that. I would actually like to go back to this feeling of community that you're talking about and ask you, what has the general feedback been from your family and friends?
I am lucky to have supportive family and supportive friends. I think this is really important. Whatever decision I took when I was a kid, when I was a teenage, and now, like, I was constantly supported by them because they trusted me and they see that I am serious about what I'm creating, what I'm doing, and I was always proving myself, yes, this is what I want to do, and this is my plan A, plan B. Like, I'm that kind of person. I think when you're in creative area, you shouldn't stick only one plan. You need to have backup plans, because, like, you never know. It's like a constantly changing world. Like, the art is following the popular culture, sometimes it can be impacted by politics, culture and everything. You need to have the backup plans, like, what's next, what can motivate me, what I can do. So this gives you so many upside downs. It's not always rainbows, butterflies and unicorns. Like, there are some downs, and that moment it's really important to have people around you that you got this, you can do that. And if I am here today, I am literally so thankful to have supportive friends. Like, without their support in my life, I don't think I would be here, because sometimes I need something and no question they are there to support me, because they also see my passion and they, like, truly believe in me. But I want to add that, like, life is not always like that. Sometimes there cannot be people around us to support us. I can understand, like, this is part of the life. So we should be able to clap for ourselves. We should first have the confidence to appreciate ourselves first. We don't do this just for the support of others. First, you need to satisfy yourself. So if you can clap for yourself, then you will realize you build a community around you that's always there for you.
That is very well said, and a very teachable moment. And speaking of teachable moments, I heard that you will be getting involved with the Bahrain Art Academy's summer camp. Tell us about that.
Well, I prepare very cool workshops for July, and it's gonna be 4 weeks, like, it's completely 12 days. And each of the workshops that I will conduct, kids gonna learn about acrylic paints, watercolor, craft, doodling and sketching techniques. Like, it will be really fun, and it's gonna be for the kids above 6 years old. And I can say that my focus on those workshops is mainly about give the kids some vision, because vision is an art of seeing the things that are invisible and make people to see that. Like, I don't only focus to make kids have some final result, like a masterpiece, everything is so happy so they can take the works to home. No, I want them to enjoy during the process. They will be aware of what they're creating, so it will be so much fun. But also I want to add that I will be having another workshops for drawing, and this is like a bit more serious level, and I will be handling this in Artology. I can call this place my home, and it's gonna be 3 weeks courses, and people kids, also adults can come. They can learn about portrait drawing, anatomy, figure, and also I will be blending this not only fundamentals but also experimental. They will be understanding everything all together.
I like that. It's a very holistic approach that you seem to be taking.
Yeah.
And it's always good, I feel, especially for younger people to explore, you know, the potential that they might have for art. And you mentioned earlier that your mom was very supportive of the fact that, that you seem to have this artistic gift in you. How do you value the artistic potential within children in Bahrain and outside of Bahrain?
Well, I firmly believe that the right moment, right people, and right place is so important. So especially for young generation, they really need to catch that moment. You know, those moments are the key for their future and key for them to build their character. So I can say that it's really important if you're involved with art, music, dance. It's gonna put you in some place that people who likes you and people who gonna understand you, and by time you will be developing some braveness, you will be having a different state of mind that constantly the urge to create, urge to feel free, urge to express and communicate. So it's really important, like kids especially and young generation should follow their dreams in terms of creativeness, and the family should be very open for their kids to push them and support them. I want to give an example like that happened in Bahrain. I had a very talented student, and he's in high school, and he just recently moved to Egypt, and we had a chance to do a couple of fundamental classes, like to learn the basics of the art. He was a self-taught emerging artist, like he is really good, and I just give some clues to complete his process. And then just recently I got message from him, and he said that, Chala, I'm teaching art for kids, like my professors let me to teach kids. Now he is as a high school student teaching art for the kids professionally, and he added that he will having his own showcase. He's gonna do a solo exhibition, and I was like so proud of him. Like he started in this journey in Bahrain. His family also supported him. They sent him to my art classes. We were always talking, giving feedback, like always controlling what he's doing, how he's going, and now he's doing his own classes at that age. Like I cannot even imagine like what's gonna come for him in future.
It's really amazing to see that you get to experience that really rewarding moment of seeing, you know, that old cliche of the student has surpassed the master. So I can't imagine what that feels like for you.
Oh.
And, you know, it is really cool to see as well. Usually sometimes you think about a lot of things in terms of competition these days, right? So people are always competing with each other, but what I've noticed is that artists are very into sharing their techniques, which is a really wholesome thing to see. And I want to ask, for any artist out there who's struggling with their craft, what kind of tips would you give them in general to improve their technique?
Well, I really love that question because I think my answer will give a lot of clue about my personality, about the way I'm teaching, and about my art. Like, I want to approach this question in a wide view, not from a narrow window, you know. So when it comes to art, we need to know that there is no true and false way. There are multiple ways to reach the point that you want. And I'm a person that I don't believe in destination in art. I think art is constantly being on the road. It's non-stopping journey. You always keep going and it's never ending. But for some other artists, maybe they might have some final destination. So I'm gonna speak from my point of view. There should be balance, like when you're on the journey, you need to keep that balance. When you forget that balance, you need to always remind that. What is that balance there? There is creativity. And like there are some people so creative. They have so many insane ideas, like their imagination is like mind-blowing, everything is perfect. But they after some point they started to repeat themselves because they don't add on the top of it. Like they started to do repetition, and even though they can be still successful, they can appeal to the others, they can have so many supporters, you know, but when they are alone, when they are just looking at their art, they will be feeling like, okay, what's next, what I need to do. They are stuck in the creative process. It's so normal. And in the other hand, there are some other artists, like they are really good at craft, like they can draw so realistically, they can paint amazingly, they have every talent, like every idea about the art, but they are lack of creative ideas. So they're gonna be stuck in the same process, like they won't be going more further because they keep doing the same thing, and after a while they don't attract the others and they will be in repetition. So what I mean that balance, you need to be creative, but also you need to know the fundamentals at the same time. So why art is a language, right? To speak in language, you need to know the words, you need to understand the alphabet, and you need to know how to conduct a sentence. Like without understanding the language, you cannot speak. But when you know the language, later you can sing, you can change the music, you can put different, you can do a remix from the lyrics, you can play with the words, right? So it's same for the art. Art is your language. You communicate with people, you share this in your social media, with your friend, with your family, even you don't share with anyone. You are in communication level with yourself when you create art, right? So fundamentals is so important. You need to know the basics. It's not a must, but it's okay to know the basics. 50-50. You can be so creative, but why not? You don't know the language that you're speaking. Learn the basics. What I mean is, learn how to draw a person, learn how to draw perspective, learn about the rules of perspective, nature mode. Just understand just a 3D object. You perceive it. How you can just use a pencil and blank space like white paper, very basic level. Use your imagination and creativity with the very simplest form, and then go crazy. As I really like Pablo Picasso's word, he says that learn the rules like a pro and break them like an artist. So if you want to do a deconstruction with your art, you can break the rules, you can go crazy, but first know how to build it, how to construct it.
I really like that your approach to art actually looks beyond the superficiality of it. You aren't just looking at it from, like you said earlier, it's not just about the completed process. It's about the entire journey to building that final product. Now, earlier we were talking about how you really value history, culture, and psychology, and how those fit into art. Could you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I think art is not separated from who you are. So like you are a part of a society, you're part of some community, and you have your background, and there is an unknown future, and you have your moment. So it's always constantly changing. You don't know, like tomorrow there's gonna be some event worldwide and you're gonna completely change. Like you will be changing always. I don't think I'm the same person I was like a week ago. I am always in constant change, and it reflects through your art, and I think it's like creating art is like so personal story, but it's like an open journal. You cannot read someone's journal, but when you create art, you open it to people. People can come and read it, feel it, and see it, and get the idea what you're trying to say. So it's like a emotionally, psychologically, even spiritually and mentally full process, they all together. So like sometimes when you at your worst moment, the art can come the best, like you never know. Like when you have your best moments, like the art not be that satisfying. It's always following you with your ups and downs. You never know. So the more you evolve, the more you understand, the more you open yourself, your art will be following that step.
And you must have worked with a lot of artists, because like, again, I'm just blown away by the fact that your approach to everything seems to be so, it draws from everything. Experience, who you are as a person, because I think a lot of us, when we think of art, our main go-to is art is an expression of the self. And you're right. I mean, on some levels, it can be quite intimate. In like a journal, you wouldn't show it to anyone,
Yeah.
but I mean, in your field, you must have been exposed to so many different expressions of self, not just Bahraini artists, but also artists from other cultures, other backgrounds. What has that been like?
Well, I can actually tell this with an example, like think like I'm in a room, that I'm always staying in the same room, I'm surrounding with the same people, I'm eating same, I'm drinking same, I'm listening the same music always, I'm watching the same channel, and I'm using the same color, let's say color pink, I'm always using the color pink, and I'm always in the same atmosphere, and I'm repeating myself. And then suddenly I'm going out of that room and I meet other people like who exactly like me with bunch of differences, and that person used color blue, and then like it is shocking for him and it is shocking for me because they completely using different opposite colors, and we were so stuck with the idea that we were coming from, and we were always surrounded with the same type of people, same circumstance, you know. And then when you start talking that people, you started to blend each other, and boom, purple, pink, blue, they brings you a purple. And then this is how I feel in Bahrain, by the way. I feel so blended with my Bahraini friends, like artist friends, like other nationalities here. We are so blended, and we constantly keep creating different color, different shades. And this is the beauty of having, you know, so many different nationality at the same time, I think. And Bahrain gives that opportunity. I feel so blended. I feel, you know, so nurturing myself when I think about the art. I think this is how it is. Like when it comes to the community, you meet with people like, you know, like different background, different style, and then suddenly you find something similar, you know, and you are understanding from each other, you're learning from each other. And I told you, like blue, pink comes to purple, and then suddenly you met someone who's already purple. So it's like how you come to that point. You know, I used to be pink. It includes me, it includes the other completely new person. Like, let's talk about it. It's something full journey.
A lot of transformation in that journey. And speaking of transformation, how do you see your work developing in the future?
Well, I have a couple of my works here. Like most of them are my commercial works. I was so lucky to be part of Formula One last 2 years, and I created these works while I was doing live painting. But I have one painting here. This is like more personal that I created, different than the others. So I feel like time for me to do more personal art. So I want to go more psychological, and I want to be more expressive rather than doing more commercial and commissions. And now I really want to do my solo exhibition, and I started to work on my own pieces. I'm taking my time, I'm focusing, and I'm experiencing the moment. And hopefully in future I want to do an exhibition for my artwork. And other than this, and I like teaching, as you said, as you see already. So I really want to pursue my masters in arts in future, hopefully. So these are my coming goals.
All of your work is just incredible, and I think from the moment you brought them in, I've just kind of had a hard time taking my eyes off of them.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. You've earned it. Is there anything you'd like to say before we conclude today?
Well, please, everyone follow your dream, no matter how old you are. Please first trust yourself. Always trust yourself, and surround yourself with the people who always support you. It's so important. And everyone, so welcome to my workshops during summer. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there is a lot of beauty in the world, and we have a lot of artists who are willing to capture it, and you could be an artist who captures it yourself. So don't go away, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's check out the return of Bahrain Fine Arts Exhibition in its 49th year in the following report.
The Bahrain Annual Fine Arts Exhibition is the largest and most important annual art gathering held in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Over the past 49 years, it has attracted the most permanent faces of the fine arts movement in the kingdom, including pioneers as well as young artistic talents. And it reflects the comprehensiveness of the Bahraini fine art experience, which forms an important part of the local cultural movement.
We're very happy to have this exhibition at the National Museum this year. The Bahrain Annual Fine Arts Exhibition is in its 49th year. It's been established since 1972. This year we have with us 100 artworks up on the walls with 56 artists participating. It's a very important platform for us. It encourages creativity. It promotes local artists. We have locals and residents participating in the competition.
Organized by Bahraini Authority for Culture and Antiquities, the exhibition returns this year in its 49th edition with a wide range of artistic participation by 55 Bahraini artists, showcasing more than 100 artistic works ranging from paintings, sculptures, installation works, photography, and other forms of artistic expression, which include various materials and techniques that belong to different international art schools.
We focus really on bringing together the different levels of artwork and creativity in the kingdom to come together in an exhibition that allows them to network, get to know different varieties and mixed mediums, talk to the more mature artists, and let the younger, more promising talent to have that opportunity to learn, progress, and aspire to do more in their career path. I think it's a very important aspect for us as BACA to provide this platform to encourage the continual growth of creativity as a sector. It supports many other sectors, and we find that it's an important aspect to give those younger artists this platform to start to collaborate with the older ones.
I'm an artist, specifically in the sculptures. I'm a sculptor, and my professional job is industrial designer. I participated in the annual art fairs for the past 4 times now. This year, I've presented a piece, and basically what I do and my background and what sort of style I go for. I'm primarily concerned with the human condition and society. I offer commentary on modern society, and I try to reflect that in my work. This particular piece that I presented this year It's all about protection and how false is. Basically, I deal with stainless steel and glass. Traditionally, all my work primarily trying to marry the two. The very hard, rough and rigid medium to glass, which is very fragile, transparent. Try to marry the two somehow, juxtapose them together in some way or form to offer that comment about society. And this is more of a personal piece. The idea is basically, as much as you try to offer protection on something, you can't fully protect it. And there are loopholes in that, let's say, idea of protection. And so if there's something precious that you're trying to protect, there's nothing as such. It's more like God's protecting it. Not you. This is more of an illusion that you're trying to protect something. And therefore the interpretation of that was this piece. Primarily the stainless steel is all like a mesh-like structure made from smaller pieces, and they're all welded together. And you have the center of it, basically the glass piece, which is the matter in question. My work primarily explores these themes, the human condition and how society sometimes there's injustices, and there are, the positive and the negative. I try to play with those themes.
It is a critical platform for showcasing Bahraini artistic talents, both internationally known and masters in the arts, as well as a new and promising gifted artists that need to be noticed. This is Khawla Youssef reporting for Bahrain International TV.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the finish line. A huge thank you to all of our guests who joined us tonight. Another huge thank you to all of you watching us at home. Be sure to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below. We love to hear from you. This was Khalid Hidris, and until next time, good night and God bless.